Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. It's Augusta, the remix.
DMB, Tuck Spice, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give it the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl, beautiful girl. Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look,
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lay several presents and gifts. Call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me Aston Kutcher, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing thigh.
We done enough.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
What is going on? Welcome. Happy Sunday. Do me a favor, hit that like button as you're coming in. Hit that like button. Let me complete this thing right here. If you haven't hit that like button, I beg, don't let me set up a poll for you. Oh, oops, too late. I set up a poll. Hit that like button. I appreciate you for being here. Welcome. All right. Yeah, that's what's up. Welcome to today's Sunday episode. We have a show for you as usual. All right, how's everybody doing? Say hello in the chat. Don't just be there watching. Say hello in the chat. Let me turn that off so we can have a clean audio. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday to you. My name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. This is Man of Prestige. Basically, over here we talk about, well, we use trendy topics to talk about relationships, and we extract lessons, particularly lessons driven from self-power, social, art of seduction, attraction, emotional intelligence standpoint. So, common sense, we don't really use common sense here. All right. And if you haven't downloaded the book, make sure you download the book absolutely for free. Yes, you can download the books for free. The digital copies of the book, you can get them for free at loveandprestige.com. All right, this book right here. And yes, you have the options to order the hardcover, the paperback, audiobooks, if that's what you want. Just go through that link, loveandprestige.com. And we have this one coming out December 30. I can't wait to get this in your hands as well. Number one red flag. This one is called Get My Marriage Back. And they're available everywhere, just so you know. Okay. But welcome. You can get the book for free at loveandprestige.com. All right. Now, with that being said, let's just talk, right? We have a conversation to have today. We have quite a few stories we want to cover. And I'm excited to be here. I don't know about you. I'm excited to be here. But today is Sunday, and this is the beginning of a brand new week. The beginning of a brand new week is always exciting for me. Maybe it's the way I set up my life. I love Sundays. I love Mondays. Fridays, not as much as Mondays, believe it or not. Okay. But, to each his own. Shout out to all my sponsors, Mo Fresh. Shout out to Mo Fresh. Shout out to Life with Natu, Adesua, Film Girl, Open Floor by Tima, Show Mama, Gores Corner, D Love 3000. Thank you so much. Yes, we're looking for today's sponsor. And our goal for October is $1,000 in super chats and all of the above, So right now, I think we went up a little bit since yesterday. We're at $218 and we're only 8 days away. Who knows? We'll see. But the goal is $1,000. So we're at $218.21 today. So please, if you know that God has blessed you and you're willing to bless me and the platform, you know what I mean? Anyway, any donation, even as low as $1, is appreciated. I appreciate you. But do me a favor, hit that like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Let's ping everybody else into the room. All right, because we do have some topics to cover today. And I'll be right back. right. Welcome back. All right, so we want to talk about a lady called Evelyn Lozada. I think Evelyn Lozada is from multiple different shows, but I think she was quite known for being on Basketball Wives, a reality TV show here in the U.S. And there's some people like, if you were to ask me, these things come on my feed, okay? So I'm not exactly following, but it comes on my feed and I see an opportunity to share one or two lessons and I say, hey, let's talk about it. Since the only way we can get your attention is to talk about celebrities. Well, not the only way, one of the best ways, But, I know your typical pushback. Well, these are celebrities. They're not the same as us, So I beg, let's just rest. Like, celebrities and, they're not the same as us. Let me see. Where is this thing? I can't even find it now. What happened? They took it down? Is that possible that they take it down? Yeah. Anyway, I can find it. I'm sure it's somewhere. Let's see. So Evelyn Lozada is one of the Basketball Wives. She's been married to quite a few people. Okay, there you go. It was my fault. She's married to quite a few people. Engaged a few times. I think married before. And I think she's been getting married. This lady I'm talking about right now is probably about 50. Let me see. Evelyn Lozada. Maybe not. Maybe almost 50. Let's see. 47 years old. Not bad, 47 years old. Let me show you who I am talking about so that I can finally stop talking to myself, right? This is her right here. All right. That's her. Oh, you can see it. There. Yeah, this one right here. Hey, that right there. That's her right there. Evelyn Lozada. All right. So there was a news about her on, I think it was Shade Room, that came across my news feed. Something about Evelyn Lozada reveals she and Lavon Lewis have called off their engagement. It just started becoming difficult. All right. Interesting. Now, just off this, I don't know her, right? Obviously. So there's only so much I can speak confidently about somebody if I don't know them. But, we covered these stories here, so why not, right? So, let me see here. I guess Queen's Court is a show on Netflix somewhere. I think, if I remember clearly, I think Tamar's ex, the white boy too, was from Queen's Court. This is like a dating show or something like that. I should check it out, all right? Because this is where we find these people, right? And this is where they're finding husbands this day, I guess, all right? And this is, that's him right there, Lavon Lewis. Okay, interesting. All right, so let me see here. That's news here. Evelyn Lozada and Lavon Lewis got engaged in the first season finale. Okay, it's Peacock's Queen's Court. It's not Netflix, Peacock. Queen's Court, which aired March. Evelyn Lozada and our Queen's Court finalist, Lavon Lewis, have ended their engagement. In a joint statement to People, the former couple confirmed their split after getting engaged on the first season finale of the Peacock reality TV show. Hold on one second. Let me see something here. Just let me just see what, because I don't want to be disrespectful to our brand. American television personality, that means reality TV show, by the way. A model, okay, interesting. Spokesperson, Lozada is best known as one of the 6 main cast members in VH1 reality series Basketball Wives. Throughout its run beginning in 2010. What I remember vividly about this woman is throwing a plate across the room that almost cut somebody's head. I know, but that's what I remember, And I think they were left on the show. I think after that, they don't really allow them on the show anymore. No, years after that, they stopped allowing people that, violence, any type of extreme violence. But at that time, they just let them on because it's entertaining and a bunch of people are laughing and stuff like that. Interesting. Let me see something here. Let me do something interesting here. Let's see. I don't know. All right, so let me finish reading. In a joint statement to People, the former couple confirmed their split after getting engaged on the first. I'm reading from people.com, by the way. As we started to plan our future together, we began to realize that we are two different people. Okay, we're two different people. All right, let's continue. I mean, it's a PR statement, so it's cute. We're two different people, but different. No. We're two different people, good people. Okay, I agree already on two of them. There are two different people, but that's not really something unique to them. That's the rest of us. You spend the rest of your life, hopefully, with a person that you're actually two different people, nothing special. Good people, for the most part, we're all good people, even when you end up in divorce, right? But different. Okay. The statement read, our relationship was beautiful and we love each other, but we mutually agree that we are best as friends. What do you think happened there? Right? We're best as friends, right? It was so good. The relationship was so good. We love each other so much. It was just too much, and we just chose. You know what? Let's just do friends. And they mutually agreed. Okay. The Basketball Wives star 47 recently shared that distance was a factor. Okay, she shared that distance was a factor. She came out after the fact and then she said, you know what? Everybody's starting to carry rumors and stuff like that. Well, you are a celebrity, so I guess that was him proposing a little while back. She continued, he has a son that is, I believe, in his first year of high school. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. All right. So she says distance was a factor, right? Which can be a factor, right? Long distance relationship. That's another layer of complexities to the complexity of romantic relationships. So that's understandable. Things went so fast. 6 months later, we were engaged, and I just felt a little bit of a disconnect. She told Us Weekly. And the distance, he lives in Atlanta, that was another thing. That was really, really difficult. Okay, so I'm guessing she's in LA somewhere on the West Coast. She continued, he has a son that is, I believe, in his first year. What? Okay, so this is a quote, right? He has a son that is, I believe. Is that like a way to like act like you're not really sure? Because that would make sense that they are cutting off the engagement at that point. You believe or you know? Anyway, in his first year of high school or going to high school. Okay. It was a lot of moving parts and it just started becoming difficult, and I was just like, I don't want to keep this going just for the world. The reality star noted that if a relationship doesn't feel 100%, I agree, particularly the feelings, right? It just doesn't feel 100%. In our situation, she explained that she and Louis are from two different places. I'm from the Bronx, New York. He's from Alabama. Those are two different worlds. So there was a little disconnect there too. Lozada admitted that having limited time with the contestants on Queen's Court also played a role in the couple split, explaining everything's going fast. You're asking 1,000,001, is that a number? Questions when you're dating those different guys on the show. And we tried to spend as much time as we could. He would travel here to LA at least once a month. She added that she felt anxiety while wedding planning due to her brief marriage to NFL player Ochocinco. I remember she was Ochocinco. Wow, 2012. That's a while back. When I was married before, I was a newlywed and a divorcee at the same time. Yeah, bad idea, right? Wait, a newlywed and a divorcee. Okay. Not the other way around. At the same time, I divorced 42 days later. Yeah. So I didn't know that I was going to have anxiety about getting married again, she shared. I feel like it's deep-rooted. I agree with her. I feel like definitely connected to that incident, that marriage, which have done therapy for. But now it's kind of like I'm digging this back up, the whole wedding. She had it. And that was hard. It was a difficult time for me. I got married on the 4th of July, and by the time August came, I was already filing for divorce. The VH1 star said the pair are leaving the relationship on good terms, sharing, "I'm just happy that we're able to just be mature and friends." I mean, you better be at 47 after about 3 different attempts at marriage. I would hope so, right? But don't get it twisted. Some people, they don't, it doesn't matter how many times. It's fight. I hope he finds an amazing woman. I'll be at his wedding. Bad idea. Okay, he's a great person. She added, "I'm just happy that it's not bitter or we're not in a negative space. I feel like all breakups don't have to end up like that." Yeah. Lozada revealed that the splits will play out on the new season of Basketball Wives. Oh, this could be a promotion of a new show. Anyway, these are your influencers. As much as we like to separate that we're not celebrities, these are your influencers. Sorry about the picture that's facing backwards. These are your influencers, okay? These are the people that people are listening to the most. Okay, you know, faith cometh by hearing, right? What you're hearing, for the most part, basically determines how your life goes. Yeah, what about if I'm intentional? Yeah, intentionality, yeah, exactly. In the bottle, exactly. If you're not intentional about what you're feeding your brain, emotional intelligence, social intelligence, it's just, yeah, it's all cap. It's a waste, I'm sorry.
Stop the cap.
It's a waste. So you gotta be careful what you're listening to. Naturally so, we gravitate more towards these people because they're entertaining and all this and that, you know, and, you know. Which one would you rather watch? A video of Miles Monroe that he recorded about 30 years ago where he's teaching about marriage, or sit down gallantly and be watching Evelyn Lozada throwing plates across the room, almost cutting somebody's head? You know, your guess is as good as mine. Whatever your answer is, you're right.
You're right.
That being said, I'll be right back. Right, welcome back. Hit that like button. Let's talk about Babyface for a real quick second. Babyface, Kevin Edmonds, right? You know, the popular Babyface, right? The one that wrote "I Made Love to You," right? Those songs, all of like the most popular Boyz II Men songs. Yeah, that's all I remember right now. But anyway. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna play this video and then we'll talk really quickly, right? Babyface has been divorced, right? He's been divorced maybe twice. Has it been divorced twice? No, maybe I think once. And Babyface is 64 years. It's a 64-year-old man who looks more like 54, and he looks like 34 for a long time, but he's starting to look more like 54 these days, you know. Kenneth Edmonds, Kenneth Brian Edmonds, yeah, produced over 26 #1 R&B hits, right? 12 Grammys. Yeah, 12 Grammys, no be your mate. But anyway, let me play this video and then we'll talk about it.
It's brought a lot of peace and calmness to my life.
Yeah.
I've never really dealt with no one like that. Tracy's brought a lot of peace and calmness to my.
All right, so this guy's name is Dion. I forgot his name, Dion something. But he's married to Tracy Edmonds, who is ex-wife of Babyface, right? They were married for a long time. As a matter of fact, I think they were married for well, almost 10 years. They were married from 1992 to 2005, right? So, but yeah, Babyface has been divorced twice. Wait, is it divorced all over again? Interesting. Okay, it looks like he just got divorced recently. Is that what I'm looking at? Let me see here. Because if that's the case, that was quiet. No, I think they're still married. I'm not sure because it says to 2023. So he's married for a second time. I don't think he's divorced. I think if he's divorced, we'll know. But anyway, so Tracy was the first wife for about from 1992 to 2005. How long was that? That's like 13 years. Yeah, 13 years. They were married and they have children together, grown children now, right? But this guy, Dion, is now married to the ex-wife, Tracy, and that's what they're talking about. Natu, are you saying they divorced twice? Welcome, anyway. How you doing? Let's play this video.
Yeah. I've never really dealt with no one like that.
Let's go back.
Tracy's brought a lot of peace and calmness to my life.
Yeah.
I've never really dealt with no one like that could bring peace.
Right.
And it, it's always been rocky. And I had to supply all that, but now she brings it, so I don't have to supply everything.
I'm happy for you guys.
I appreciate that. I'm happy for you too, man.
This is a different situation for most folks.
Yes, it is.
They can't quite understand it.
Right.
I don't think it should be any other way.
Why do you think men can't do this, though?
Same reason women can't do it, because they can't get past a pain. It's like they like living in it.
Right. Kenny and I can sit down and talk about any and everything, Tracy included. But kids come first. That's why Kenny and I are here, because the kids come first.
For me, for Tracy to have a good life and to move on with her life and pick the right person to be a part of her life, it makes it better for me because it makes it great for my kids.
Right. And that's what it's all about.
And
Wow.
Tracy's my friend. So we are friends for life. And so I'm gonna always wish nothing but good for her. And picking the right person to share her life with, that's a big piece.
It is.
And I think you guys are a good space.
Well, I appreciate it.
Sure seems like it, sure feels like it.
You're all right with me, man. Tracy's brought a lot of peace.
All right,
a lot
so
of peace and calmness
hold
to
on
my
one
life.
second.
Yeah.
I've never.
All right, he said Tracy brings a lot of peace and calmness to my life, right? The Indomie Generation ex-husbands. I wonder what they will say if that was the case. First of all, they probably can't sit together with that man like that. Okay, they just won't. Okay. And I just found out that as of February 7th, thank you for that, Natu, divorced from Nicole. He's now divorced. I'm just going to read this report from February 7, 2023. For some reason, we didn't see it. Probably because it wasn't a nasty divorce, like most divorce. Most celebrity level, high profile divorce, I should say, right? There's a report here on people say Kenny, Babyface, Edmonds, and Nicole Pattenberg finalized divorce, granted joint custody over daughter. So they have one daughter together. The Grammy winner Pattenberg announced they were calling it quits in July 2021. I didn't know that. Wow. Listen, this, Jesus Christ. They finalized the divorce after announcing they were calling it quits July 2021. The exes finalized the divorce on Monday and cited the reason as irreconcilable differences. According to court documents obtained by people, that usually means we don't want to share why we're going our separate ways. Okay. Edmonds 64 and Pattenberg 50. Oh, she's only 50. Wow. Were also granted joint custody of their 14-year-old daughter Peyton Nicole per the documents. In exercising joint legal custody, the parties shall equally share in the responsibilities and the right to make decisions concerning Peyton's health, education, and welfare, and shall discuss and make good faith efforts to mutually agree, and shall agree or obtain a prior court order in the event they are unable to agree. In the event they are unable to agree upon such matters, the court document read. The document went on to list the events in which the pair would need to consult each other before, that means for the next 5 years, because the baby is now 14 years old, right? Consult each other before making a decision in their daughter's life, like participating in extracurricular activities, piercing body parts, issuing a passport, and more. The couple also obtained joint physical custody with the parenting plan to be mutually agreed between the parties, working together in Peyton's best interest. Both parties also came to an agreement on child and spousal support. Edmonds will pay Puttenberg $37,500 monthly until 2027. If this was some people who would already be hearing it on the internet, it would be a lot louder. Sorry, did I say Tyrese? No, I didn't say Tyrese. But we would have been hearing it on the internet now, right? Without understanding the full context of where $37,000 came from. $37,000 doesn't mean anything to me until I know the rest of the story. Until I know how much is bringing in, until I know how much she's contributed to it. Until I know with respect to what, right? It means nothing, all right? Hold on one second. Let me just say shout out really quickly to Yvette for the $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Goes a long way. All right. So let me continue here really quickly. Wow. Both parties are okay. So the payments will commence when he vacates the former family residence. So he will be leaving the space for them, I guess. A rep for Edmonds did not immediately respond to people's request. And then here's a quote from them. We continue to care and have respect for one another and share eternal love for our daughter and our well-being. A PR statement is not just a PR statement. It's precisely what space you need to be at, or at least to be striving for, right? Because we're human beings and emotions are not anybody's mate, right? So, but you should know that that's what you should be striving for. Why? Because it's not about your short-term feelings. I understand some people's feelings transcends beyond short-term because they have coconut head, but it's not about feelings. It's about what is best, right? Beyond short-term to long-term, especially for your child, for your family, really, but for your child, if you can't agree on the family thing, right? Because if you can't agree, the court will help you, okay? And when they help you, it's usually not fun, okay? Just so you know. All right, we ask for personal privacy for ourselves and our daughter as we navigate these new steps as a family, right? So this is the new situation. He's actually talking about his ex from the past. And when I saw the news, I didn't know this has happened. I had no idea. I didn't see it. But this is interesting. Right? And he's still talking. He just went through another divorce and he's still talking about his ex-wife as that's my friend, right? Well, they have kids together, but I'll tell you what, the Indomie generation ex-wife and husbands, they have a lot more difficult time coming into that kind of space. Hello, Mofresh. How are you? Thank you for being a member. I just noticed that you're a member some few days ago. I appreciate you for being a sponsor of the channel. Anyway, that's that right now. Babyface is trying to be in the streets, you know. At 64, why not, right?
I haven't really dealt with no one like that could bring peace.
Right.
And it, it's always been rocky. And I had to supply all that, but now she brings it, so I don't have to supply everything.
He says she brings, right? Shout out to Auntie B. I heard she was preparing for a show about what a woman brings to the table. She brings all that, so I don't have to supply all that. I don't know what it's talking about, but it's probably not BBL, It's different conversation,
I'm happy for you guys.
He said, I'm happy for you guys. That's usually not the response you get from that. But what you usually get is like, well, she wasn't like that to me. I mean, I guess we're all growing up. It's good to see people growing up, man. What did Babyface say? What did he say? Listen, he said, I'm happy for you guys.
Tracy's brought a lot of peace and calmness to my life.
Yeah.
A lot of peace and calmness to my life.
I've never really dealt with no one like that could bring peace.
Right.
And it, it's always.
It said, right. Right means I'm hearing you. I have no response. I don't have to have a response. I'm listening, right? I don't really need to have an opinion. I could just hear you and be what? Let's listen to it.
It's been rocky, and I had to supply all that, but now she brings it, so I don't have to supply everything.
I'm happy for you guys.
It said, I'm happy for you guys, right? Oh, to some people that's soft. That's just soft, right? I would never it will never, the same way they say it will never be me for negative things is how they say it will never be me for positive things. It's the same thing essentially, okay? It's the same thing, right? It's just extreme of both ends. It's the same thing. They can't find themselves in a place of peace where I don't really need any type of validation. Right? Kind of need it, but I can control myself because I'm a human being. So I can enjoy a little validation here and there, right? But I can also have some level of self-control, right?
I appreciate that. I'm happy for you too, man.
This is a different situation for most folks.
Yes.
He said this is a different situation for most folks, right? Two men coming together and say, listen, we have a beautiful life. It's not perfect, right? It's not perfect, but we're here, right?
It is.
And they can't quite understand it.
Right.
I don't think it should be any other way.
Why do you think men can't do this, though?
Same reason women can't do it, because they can't.
See, he naturally gravitated away from anything that sounds like gender war, even though that's probably not what Dion is trying to say. It's like, well, the same reason why women can't do it. Let's see what the reasons are.
Can't get past a pain.
They can't get past a pain, right? They can't get past the pain. They can't heal, right? They have a hard time healing, right? Healing is hard. Can we be frank? Can we just be honest with ourselves? Healing is extremely, excruciatingly hard, especially when it's emotional in nature. Oh, I don't want to do the gender war thing. Men have a hard time with this stuff. They do. They do, at least from what I've seen. And that's the people I can relate with. They have a hard time. I'm noticing everywhere, right? They can't help it, right? Because they're supposed, and it's even worse because they're supposed to talk in how they feel emotionally. They're not supposed to be all emotionally expressive. But when they are, it's nasty, it's messy. It looks like Tyrese, it looks like Dotun, it looks like, right? They can't get past a pain, right? But it's possible, especially with support system, with help, in a controlled environment. Of course, it's easy. In the public, no, it's just worse. It gets worse, right?
It's like they like living in it.
Right.
It's like they like living in it. Have you ever been in an argument and you feel like you can't disengage? And logically speaking, if we were to explain it logically, it's like anybody looking from the outside, they say you enjoy this shit. You do. You enjoy it, right? But in your heart of hearts, you're trying to, like you're not thinking about that right now. You're just trying to be right. Whatever it is that you're trying to say. Trying to get your point across, right? But it's nonetheless effectively a toxic form of communication, right? Because at the best you're going to get out of that is somebody's building resentment. And it's even worse because you're not realizing that that's happening behind the scenes, right?
Kenny and I can sit down and talk about any and everything, Tracy included, but kids come first. That's why Kenny and I are here, because the kids come.
If you don't put the kids first, the judges will help you. Well, maybe not lawyers. The judges will help you put the kids first, and that's usually not pretty. Just so you know, okay?
First.
For me, for Tracy to have a good life.
For Tracy to have a good life, that's the ex-wife about 100 years ago. Now, to be fair, we can say, Babyface, well, it's 2005. That's a long time. It's like 18 years ago. Like, he better feel that way, right? You'll be shocked, okay? But forget that for a second. What about, well, if that's how it feels 18 years later, maybe if you're only 2 years past it, maybe you can get to that position faster. Because clearly, long term, right, anything that's worthwhile takes patience, process, right? But it's not everybody that's privileged to get to 18 years before they create so much damages that they can't reverse. So why would you want to wait? Like, right, as soon as possible, just be aware that that's where you need to get to. And just the awareness goes a long way in terms of getting to that space even faster, right? But ultimately, with your ex, unless they're dangerous to society, in which case the judges will probably put them away. But if we're talking about just normal people that unfortunately pride, unrealistic expectations, lack of game, got them in a space where you're no longer together, that's family. No, you don't get to decide this. This is, especially if you have kids with them, that's family for life. Yeah, I know. I'm preaching to the choir.
And to move on with the life and pick the right person to be a part of her life, it makes it better for me because it makes it great for my kids.
It makes it better for him. It makes it better for his kids.
You know? And that's what it's all about.
And Tracy's my friend. You know, so we are friends for life. And so I'm gonna always wish nothing but good for her. And picking the right person to share her life with, that's a big piece.
It is.
And I think you guys are in a good space.
Well,
I think you guys are in a good space.
Sure seems like it, sure feels like it.
you're all right.
He said it sure feels like it. Anyway, I didn't realize that they are now divorced. It's kind of crazy. But you know, they know why they're divorced. You know, Babyface seems like a person that it seems like a person that he knows what he's doing. Okay, right? He knows what he's doing. Shout out to the algorithms. Okay, the algorithms random willy-nilly set 500 views to one short that I did two mornings ago. I am convinced that people are not getting their notifications, which I have told them to come to behind the scenes. If you want to be able to count on me notifying you when I do the shows, you can go to lolaanola.com/WhatsApp. That's the best way to be notified because you can't count on this stuff, okay? Just letting you know really quickly. Just come behind the scenes. I always notify people when I go live, okay? But we're working anyway. It's still sad. Anytime I see a family break apart, it's usually because it's not because of a good reason. Irreconcilable difference is not a good reason because those people went into that marriage planning to do a life together. So something happened there, but I'm glad to see that it's in good spirits, in a place where you can actually wish other people well. Some people, when they go through divorce, they don't know how to wish other people well, though. And they're not direct about it. It's like little subliminal things that they say that they're just, it's very hard, okay? It's very, very hard, all right? Anyway, with that being said, I will be right back. Yay! All right, so we're talking about Tiwa Savage and Teebillz. Teebillz is ex of Tiwa Savage. Tiwa Savage is arguably the biggest female artist that Nigeria music industry has ever seen in history. Anybody have any argument against that? I think he is. I think she is, rather, right? But Tiwa Savage is is highly respected. As a matter of fact, wife and I, for our anniversary, we went to see Tiwa Savage at the Apollo Theaters. That was on August 25, something like that. Yeah, so we went to see Tiwa Tokpe Omolara Savage. Orukonla. Those are Lagos people's names, Sha. Lagos Island people. Tiwa is 43 years old now. Wow, we're the same age. Interesting. She's an actress too. When is this acting instead of music videos? I didn't know she was acting too. Well, she's considered the queen of Afrobeats by most people. I don't know if anybody would argue with that, But while we're talking about them today, again, good news. It's good news. I want to mix it up with good news. The bad news stuff, divorce, separation. Thank God, the Babyface stuff we just covered. It wasn't so bad, but it's still bad news, But yes, hit that like button. We're talking about Tiwa Savage. Hit that like button. Natu says yes, she is. So our own Beyonce. She acted in Sugar. She did. Hey, keep hers. Anyway, so let's do this. Let's do this. There's a text here from Instablog Nigeria that I wanted to cover really quickly. Again, I want to showcase good examples good examples are never perfect. All right. Some years back, Teebillz had a very bad episode. Right. Teebillz had a TB's. I think his last name is Balogun. He was basically responsible for. It was partly responsible for helping Tiwa Savage blow up to become the Beyonce of Afrobeat. Right. And he was responsible for that. I can't take that away from him because he was the manager. He was behind the scenes, at least as a husband. I think they got married at some point. They got married. They had like a whole big societal wedding too, right? At that time. So some people would even say, "Why I didn't know this guy." I was like, I didn't know this guy because in the late 2000s or mid 2000s, late 2000s, when we were running around trying to do music industry and all that kind of stuff, we probably had mutual friends, but I didn't know him, But I got to know him after he almost committed the ultimate. He was about to jump into the lagoon, and then some people saved him. And shout out to the catalyst. Olushola is one guy that I respect as one of the well-balanced coaches and therapists in Nigeria. I forgot his real name. Something Olushola, Catalyst Olushola or something like that. He was helping him at the time. Okay, so I think this was 2018. All right, I'm looking at a headline: Nigeria Vanguard, 2018. Popular Nigerian singer Tiwa Savage has allegedly filed for divorce from her estranged husband Tunji Balogun. That's his name. According to media reports, all attempts by the couple to resolve their differences have failed, and Tiwa has decided to formally call it quits, citing unsolvable issues as the reason, irreconcilable differences, as the reason for the decision. Well, the truth is that the issues were deep. At that time, Tiwa also accused him of, doing this nutting thing, and then, it was basically dealing with a lot mentally, and he tried to end it all at the time. And then I think he put his wife at the time, ex-wife, Tiwa Savage, on blast on social media. He was jealous. Said some people were trying to. He just dealing with a lot. He didn't feel secure in the relationship. I'm continuing the article from about 5 years ago, 2018, right now on. So they had a crisis of about 2000. I think the crisis actually started in 2016, and then the divorce finalized in 2018. So, however, Tiwa, aka Maven Record First Lady, that was at the time, is yet to confirm nor deny the divorce issue. The embattled couple have not been together since their marital crisis in 2016. Teebillz made their marital issues public as he wanted to commit the big S word by attempting to jump into the third mainland, the bridge in Lagos. The duo then engaged in war of words on the social media as Teebillz alleged infidelity, among other accusations on the part of his estranged wife. So he was cheating, according to Tiwa. Tiwa, who shares a song with Teebillz, in turn granted a 45-minute video interview. Yep, I remember that video interview where she spilled everything to debunk the accusations. However, fans and industry watchers had assumed all was now well with the couple when many of their friends, colleagues, and family members intervened, urging them to reconcile their differences. Okay, Lanre Olushola, that's his name. Teebillz had to testify on social media that all was now well with him. After he went through rehabilitation, I think he moved back to the United States, and then he went through a rehabilitation in the hand of seasoned lifestyle coach Lanre Olushola. I think Lanre Olushola is arguably my favorite in Nigeria, honestly. Yes, even above Pastor K. Okay. Let's see. The way I handle things now is completely different from how I acted in the past. This is Teebillz talking. I do better now because I know better. I'll talk a second. And if I had gone through the experience before now, it probably would have made sense to me it probably wouldn't have made sense to me. See, frame of reference. If he had gone through the experience, the lifestyle coach thing, it wouldn't have made sense to him. Again, some people need to hit rock bottom before anything makes sense to them. So I know I say coconut head all the time, but really it's just the nature of human beings. If you don't hit rock bottom, whatever that means to you is different from people to people. You're not capable of hearing what they're talking about. You can't relate. You can't comprehend whatever a catalyst coach is talking about. It's strange, right? Until I go through some challenging situations, but I thank God that I have been able to overcome all those through the guidance of my coach. Savage was featured on Solar Plexus. Okay, these are some of her work. Anyway, he's always had some statements. I follow him on Instagram that are well balanced. Since then, it seems like he's gotten himself together. He has other kids from previous relationship. His kids are grown, as a matter of fact. I'm talking potentially 20 years old or somewhere around that. Some people have been having babies for a long time, right? Until recently, when he decided to put his mouth inside of the Mohbad issue, and I think it was even Dr. that said, my G, you have to, stay this one out or something like that. He was, and then he came back to apologize. Again, it seems like somebody who is in a better space, But he made this statement, and Omoriwu, I was happy to see it. Because people struggle with this. As simple as it seems, it's extremely hard when people have collected shege from somebody they used to love. Okay? When they have collected woto, either figuratively speaking or for real, right? When they have been through, it's just hard. Right? It gets very hard because they can't, like Babyface said, they can't get past a pain. They can't get past a pain. So, very, very important to note there. So, but he's been doing a lot better. So he put this out. They said, when I see what other men goes through, I can't help but count my blessings. All right. This is loaded. Okay. Let me finish reading it. He says, I can't count my blessings. Forever grateful to Mama J. That's Mama Jam Jam, right? As they call her. That's Tiwa Savage. For making my relationship so soft with love. Even when I can't afford, she still presents me as a Superman to my twin. Being a single mom is heck of a job. Grateful and blessed. Highly appreciative. Titi, is that her name? Is she called Titi too? I'm not sure, But yes, I'm very, very happy to see this kind of stuff because again, it's hard. But when I show you examples of it, it's possible. It doesn't always mean that, I think they were married for 5 years. It doesn't always mean that you will be with that person. But it actually increases the chances if that's what you want. Being able to bring yourself to a space of humility. Humility is hard, right? Listen, you've achieved something. At least you woke up today. The fact that you woke up today, there's a natural urge to run your mouth because you know one or two things, right? How much more if you've made some money today? How much more if you're a 6-figure earner or a 7-figure earner? Maybe you're a doctor, a medical something, or a lawyer. Maybe you're a 20-year something somewhere, right? The arrogance is not something you decide to do. I'm talking about unmanaged pride now, okay? It's not necessarily stuff you decide to do. It just comes. You just find yourself in it. Oh, sorry, you actually don't realize you're already in it, right? So when somebody make a statement like this, I have to appreciate it, right? But think about this part. He said, I can't help but count my blessings. There's an intentional act. There's an intentional act of counting your blessings. Another thing that's very hard to do is count your blessings. Gratitude. You tend to naturally see the things that are not enough, right? You see glass half glass empty as opposed to, it's the same thing as half glass full, right? What's the difference? Is there difference? to help you determine your next best move, right? If you see it as half glass empty, you go and complain. If you see it as half glass full, you basically just, you say, I'm grateful. You do what Tunji is doing. Shout out to Tunji. Nati says Tiwa talked about her blowing up and she did give him his flowers in one interview. That's awesome, right? We don't see that. Those don't make the news unless you follow them closely, right? So that's why I'm bringing them to the light. As we talk about divorce, separation, we'll talk about people that have gone through the inevitable, either divorce, separation, or actually marriage. Just because somebody's been married for 16, 25 years doesn't mean they haven't seen their own shege. They just managed to get through something to the other side, right? So either it's divorce, separation, complicated marriage, you will be required to get through that pain, and a lot of people get stuck, right? They get stuck, So I'm really, really appreciative of this type of statement. Count my blessings as an act. It's something you have to do, right? It doesn't come natural. You're not going to fall out of the skies into I count my blessings. I'm a perfect human being. There's no such thing. Irony, lori. Anyway, forever grateful to Mama Jam. Gratitude for making my relationship so soft with love. Even when I can't afford. It takes humility to, as a man, to say sometimes I can't afford. What is the big deal? I know you said, what is the big deal? I know. Leave that thing. Leave that thing. Just understand that when somebody does it, give them their flowers. Just appreciate it. You know why? Forget that you humble yourself to do that, because you have to humble yourself to appreciate what might seem like bare minimum. That's bare minimum. You're supposed to. Oh, well, good. Humble yourself and appreciate it. You know what? It makes them want to do more. Right? This is true across the board. All your relationship. Don't be the first to say there's bare minimum. Why are we praising them for that? It's arrogance. It's pride that crept upon you. That's why you're saying that. No, it's not a crime. It's just what it is. Right? You're not guilty. Okay? In fact, you might be right all along to be saying that. Maybe you might just know what you're saying, right? I know you know what you're talking about, right? You're right. But nonetheless, we must appreciate this, because this is where majority of people need to be gravitating towards. It's not about anything perfect. It's about what the cards you've been dealt today. Do you know how to appreciate it? Appreciate, not say thank you. Appreciate is not always the same thing as saying thank you. It's just to see the value in it. That's all I'm saying. Just to see the value in the cards you're dealt today is what we're talking about. Okay? She still presents me as a Superman to my twin, which is kudos to Tiwa for that. That is a big deal. That is a big deal, right? That doesn't mean, well, this guy was good to me or anything like that. Yeah, but it's important that the son sees him as a Superman. Overall. Okay? Let me see, my brother here just gave me $5. Mr. Ben, thank you so much. I appreciate you for demonstrating to us that God has blessed all of us. Oh, what now? Thank you so much. Thank you, brother. Thank you. All right. She still presents me as a Superman to my twin. Being a single mom is a heck of a joy. He's also seen beyond, as a natural man, it's like, what's the big deal? The big you're a mother. Just be a mother. He's now saying, you know what? Nah, that you know what? It's a lot of work, right? It doesn't matter how much coconut head Tiwa has. When she sees this message, right, her head will swell. The same swelling that happened when Nigerian Yoruba people start spraying, especially Igbo people, when they throw the money like this, just because you mentioned their name, because you are singing a song that everybody already know. You just mentioned their name. That's all you did, and the next thing they just said, I beg, give me change. $1. 100. Give me 100. They don't do it's minimum 100 now if you want to change money now at parties, right? Did you know that? It's minimum 100 though. They won't change it to you, or they will charge you $10. If you want to change 90, they will give you 18 singles. It happens to me. I'm like, ha! Anyway, you ask me, why am I changing anything less than 100 anyway? Good question, because I'm bigger. Anyway, 100. You call my name? See where, right? It's the human mind. It's the way it works. Don't argue with it. Just understand it and use it in your favor. Too much argument. Too much argument. So I wanted to do this to give flowers to both Tiwa and Tunji because they're not gonna highlight this anywhere else. They won't. Okay. They will because Tiwa is huge. You know, I think it made the news last week. Obviously, it's on Instablog Nigeria, but typically the audience, they're not paying attention to that. You know, they're not. Let me read one comment from here. Somebody says he's not even talking about her taking the bills up only. Is that she's covering him and making him appear to be a great father in the eyes of his son. It's not easy for a woman to forgive a man who hurt her and not be vindictive. Kudos to Tiwa. Exactly. I think that's good stuff. All right, that's good stuff. Anyway, let's move on with today's story. I will be right back. All right, let's talk about this guy right here. I think we dropped a video already earlier today about him, Killaboi, the Killaboi guy. This guy that was caught in Sierra Leone yesterday. Let's talk about him really quickly. Excuse me. There's a Punch covered a story today. Punch News Nigeria, punchng.com, and it says how Killaboi was caught in Sierra Leone, mother of murdered model reveals. We talked about it yesterday. This guy started confessing online some months back and said he ended it all for his girlfriend, and he was basically saying this, that. Shout out to Topa Alabi, who was the journalist behind this. So Cordelia Okonye is the mother of Augusta. That's the girl. She's a 21-year-old model, Instagram model, who was following this Yahoo boy around. He was best known as Killaboi. So eventually his name became his reality. His real name is Benjamin Best. Nayere Ugo, something like that. So Cordelia Okonye, the mother of the late, I'm reading from Punch NG. Cordelia Okonye, the mother to the late Augusta Osedion, a model murdered by her boyfriend, Benjamin Best, aka Killaboi, has shared details on the role played in getting him arrested in Sierra Leone. Killaboi made headlines in July when he took to social media to confess murdering his girlfriend, Augusta. In an emotion-laden Facebook post on Saturday, Okonye narrated her role in getting Killaboi arrested. Okay, so the lady, the mother, she actually was involved in getting him arrested in his hideout, at his hideout in Sierra Leone. According to her, following several pleas to her daughter's alleged murderer to turn himself in, he chose to ignore them. Right. And then Nigerians forgot and they moved on, right? Good evening, Odion. Odion says, good evening, I was just landed. Let me take my place. You're welcome. All right. He blocked me after alleging I pimped my daughter out to men, which I never did. Lobaton. So what I did, I sent his passport photographs to all my relatives, friends, and family across the globe and told them he has a tattoo that identifies him. Oh, thank God he didn't erase that or cover it before they got to him. Well, they would have still caught him. So along the line, my cousin in Sierra Leone on the first hinted to me that I saw somebody like him. Immediately, my son and my cousin went to Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is just about 4 or 5 countries over to the west of Nigeria. So that's not that far. Okay, some of these countries are like sizes of state. In Chi Alpha, happy Sunday. So along the line, my cousin in Sierra Leone on the first hinted to me that, okay, a day before my son and cousin got to Sierra Leone, they declared Killaboi wanted. He was already hiding in the country. The commissioner of police was contacted. Killaboi killed my daughter and left her corpse to rot before taking her phone. Wow, that's crazy. On how Killaboi could travel outside the country shores after the murder, Okonye said he used fake names to secure a passport. Best killed my daughter on the... Best, that's his name. Killed the daughter on the 13th of July and got a Sierra Leonean passport on the 28th of July. He was eventually arrested yesterday. 1% of the pain is gone this morning that Benjamin is caught. 1%, she says. Let me see here. Let me see if I can open this in another page. Let's see if we can get this open. Hold on 1 second. All right, let me see if I can get this opened. This is on Punch Nigeria. Okay, well, let's watch this. Let's see if we can get this. Let's watch this. Let's see what she says.
Good morning, everybody. When my daughter was murdered, it was very, very difficult for me to come online. I couldn't hold it.
Wow.
That girl is that husband, my gist partner, my everything you can think of. So I was really short of words. And when they started chatting me up, Mommy, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. The way he wrote it, I thought maybe it was, oh yeah, come out, let's go to the police. He refused coming out.
He won't come out.
And along the line, he started when he saw the poster that he wants to send money to me for burial. I said, I don't need money for burial, just come out.
Really?
After some time, he changed the narrative again, that it was self-defense. I said, just come out. When you come out to the police, you will judge my mouth.
Self-defense.
You judge my daughter's mouth to judge your mouth. I took you as his son. Then, after a while, after he posted the last one he posted, I'm the one peeping my daughter off from men, which I never did. He now blocked me off. He wasn't chatting me again since then. So at that point, I know, okay, there's no way to reach him again. So what I did, I sent his passport photographs to all my relatives, all my friends, all my families all over the world. And I told them he has tattoo on his body. That is the way to identify him. So along the line, my cousin in Liberia, Sierra Leone, my cousin in Sierra Leone on the first hinted me, Auntie, I saw somebody exactly like this. So immediately, my son and another of my cousin, they went to Sierra Leone. But when they were in Sierra Leone, a day before they got there, they now declared him wanted. So because they declared him wanted, they started hiding. But then my cousin went there, met with the commissioner of police there, met with everybody and talked, showed the picture of the corpse of my daughter because he actually killed her and left her to rotting, actually killed her and collected her phone with her. So the police there has been working. So yesterday night they kept chatting us. It was around 2 a.m. When my cousins were there, they now went to the hotel he used to lodge. On getting to the hotel, it was a white man. The white man said, no, they can't accommodate a murderer, but he has left their place. That, okay, let it print out his passport. You can't believe it. Nigerians all over the world. Wow. That he killed my daughter on the 13th of July. Best now, go Benjamin. Got Sierra passports on the 28th of July. He changed his name. His son name that is Benjamin, he changed it to Kanu. His first name that is Best, he changed it to Christone. His middle name that is Nnayerugo, he changed it to Samuel. So with that passport and the local numbers, the police there began to work for us for the past over 2 weeks now. To the glory of God, yesterday 2 a.m. in the night, Benjamin was caught. He has never bragged that he can never enter handcuff. He's on handcuff. Nigerians, do what? 1% of the pain is gone this morning. Now Benjamin is caught.
Wow. Wow. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. Yeah. I can't even imagine. But hey, that's just an update for you guys. Fast life. That's what this comes down to. Fast life. There's no such thing. Okay, you have to respect time, right? And you have to just know that time is not your mate. You can't move it faster. You can't move it slower. You can't say, hey, slow down for me, time. You can't say, let me fast it up, because, and now you start getting greedy and you start living life on a fast pace. Both of them is the same thing. It has consequences, and sometimes it has grave consequences. And let me just leave it at that, okay? Fast life, no they pay. Just relax. Patience is your way of respecting time, okay? Process is your way of respecting time, okay? The flip opposite, when I say fast life, doesn't mean you now start say God's time is best and start manipulating that, okay? And you start trying to manipulate God. You are still correct that God's time is the best, but you have to make sure that the cards you're dealt today, time, opportunities, that you're making the most of it, right? And a lot of that energy has to go into building yourself, taking care of yourself, building yourself, making sure that you're better than the version of yourself from yesterday, right? How do you make sure of that? Make it a part of your life. Make it second nature. Like, what is it about me yesterday that I would love to be better today? If you don't do that, it's either you or your children will end up, because the children are watching you, right? Does that mean this woman did anything? No, there's too many factors. There's too many variables. The only thing you can control is what you can control. Don't worry about the ones you can't control. One thing I know is that there's a high likelihood that your children will follow your footstep, right? Because we learn more from examples, all right? But this is really, really a painful and a sad story at that, and I don't want to talk anymore about that unless there's an update. I'll be right back. All right, so that was that. I'm curious to see what that's gonna generate later on. The easy part is always for us all to be agreeing, but it's also okay to just rub minds together even when we disagree. Shout out to all the 81% of people who already hit the like on this. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. We're working. All right, so now with this being said, let me see here. There's the topic here says, are you wicked or open-minded in relationships? Are you wicked or open-minded in relationships? And I want to talk literally quickly about that before we round up. Are you wicked or open? I dropped the link, okay? But when I finish this segment, if anybody wants to speak, I'll let them speak before we round up. Are you wicked or open-minded in a relationship? Why did I talk about this today? Because I dropped a video some few days ago about, this right or wrong, bad versus evil thing. I dropped a short, and that video got like 500 views randomly within like 3 minutes yesterday. YouTube, but anyway, we're working. We'll keep dropping this content into the catalog, okay? Anyway, so and that's why I wanted to talk a little bit more about it, but there's some 5 points in particular that I wanted to speak to, right? Is that it's half glass half empty situation as always, right? It's very natural for you to see things from your own lens. How you see things is how you see things, okay? You see that half glass empty, it probably has to do with your personal experience, right? And then you can now divide that up to each segment of your life. What are we talking about? Which aspect of our life are we talking about, right? So it depends on all of that, right? And there's still too many variables for us to keep track of, right? So because of that, we need to practice empathy, okay? It's not everybody you can empathize with, but at least try to listen a little bit harder to where are they coming from, right? Now, when they are agreeing with you, there's no need for that, right? There's literally no need for me to be self-reflecting or try to determine where is this person coming from. This is only needed when there's a disagreement, okay? And when if I disagree with you, it's also coming from a place, right? Yes, including I could just be stupid, right? But it's coming from a place that you will be required to understand in order for you to add any kind of value to the conversation, right? So empathy is key. Empathy is key when we're talking about any of this topic, right? And if you can't have empathy when you're having this conversation, which usually means, again, practice empathy. Practice means it's not something you're perfect at. It's something that you're putting some effort into. You're just aware that, hey, I don't always see where everybody is coming from, right? If you don't do that, that right there's a chance that somebody is seeing you as you're being wicked, right? And they also know you in person. They know the relationship you had with them, right? So if you tend to be the person who can't empathize with other people, they will also give you in the same measure, right? They can't empathize with you because they always remember how they feel around you. They remember just how they feel around you. If they on an overall basis, right? And that's what they're operating with. Even sometimes when it's off, they give you a pass. They give you grace. They might say like, he's just having a day, right? He's having that day, so they give you grace for that, right? But if you don't practice at all, you just see things as quote unquote what they are. I speak my truth, right? You will have a hard time because you might not see it until 10 years from now. And that's even worse because you've been sowing this seed for so long, and there's still all these people in your network that sees you as what they see you as, right? And what that is that you generally have no empathy, right? So they have nothing to offer you back. Like you have nothing inside of its tank, right? So it's something to pay attention to. Number one, practice empathy. Practice empathy. If you don't practice empathy, it's not just that there are some wicked people. You're right, there are some wicked people out there. But there's some people that you care about that will see you sometimes as wicked. The worst part is that they might be family members and they can't tell you because they don't want to receive that wicked thing again. It feels like it's wicked on their end, right? So are you a wicked or open-minded person? It depends. It depends on what we're talking about. Let me put this caveat again. There are wicked people out there, okay? But it's not majority of the people in your network. It's not. It can feel that way if you don't collect woto to a certain extent. It can feel that way, right? 2, avoid hasty judgments. When you're triggered, when something triggers you, when something makes you feel some type of way, when something like there's a good chance that you have no full understanding of what's going on, both internally and externally, there's a good chance, right? Resist the urge to judge. It's a natural thing for us to judge. People try to make this case something like, but we naturally judge. Yeah, that's the point. Resist the urge to judge. If you don't understand what's going on, it usually looks like something is off. I feel some type of way. And it's usually not strangers. Most of your experience around this is going to be from the people you love the most. People that love you the most. People that need the most grace from you, because you're gonna have days where you need them to also give you grace. Is that not the reality? That's the reality, right? So being quick to label someone wicked, right? It's almost like you're sowing seeds, right? Eventually, enough people are going to start seeing you as wicked because they're like us too, right? They're like the rest of us. They start seeing you as wicked. They don't see that, hey, this is just a moment of weakness where I can apply some grace. Well, you have nothing in the tank for them to work with, because all the while, your whole adult life, you've been moving like, I speak the truth. Well, I think I speak the truth too. That makes 2 of us. Our truth tell us. All right. The other thing here when it comes to being wicked, and this wicked or you're open-minded, is when there's a disagreement, right? you have to practice this. You have to practice for a long time before it becomes second nature. Okay, the average human being, they don't know how to do this. It's not their fault. It's just the way we're all set up, right? You have to, when it comes to disagreements or quote unquote arguments, right? Because people use them interchangeably and they're not necessarily the same thing, right? I'm talking about active argument. When that's happening, right? There's a place you get to in your growth, in your journey of growth, where you just become curious, right? Like, that's interesting. Another angle. You know, sometimes we just say out of cruise, we just say another angle. Like, just get used to say another angle. Interesting, right? Yes, especially when things are coming off as offensive. Remember what we said today? If it's offensive, it's hitting the nerve, right? But you might be disconnected from that. You might feel like, I don't know why it's hitting the nerve. No, it's not. You're just wrong. Well, we're going back to number 2. Resist the urge to judge. It's natural for you to judge. You're not guilty. You're not a criminal for judging people. But there's a specific reason why it is highly discouraged, even in the scriptures. There's a specific reason to that. And it has nothing to do with easy moments where it's like, yo, thou shalt not judge. Don't be a judge, right? No, it has to do with your personal relationships. It's easy to tell people on internet street, on the comments, to not judge. That's easy. You don't even know them like that, right? But what if it's a personal relationship you don't get to escape from them? This is family, right? Doesn't that happen? It happens, right? So it's key. It's active listening. Active listening is needed. Just become curious. Become a little bit more curious about things you don't understand, things that rub you off the wrong way. And then if you do that long enough, you start having another level of peace of mind that human beings can't give to you. It can only come from above, right? Number 4, challenge your biases. Challenge your biases. We all have biases. Like, Abi, Kini, what are we talking? Kini, what are we talking about here? Can we all together just stop the cap?
Stop the cap.
We have our biases. Again, it's not the crime. It is what it is. It's not a crime to be selfish. It is not. The only reason why I will take an offense when you call me selfish is because a part of me want to, like, subconsciously, I'm like, I'm not sure of myself, right? Well, when I'm sure of myself and I don't really, especially if I don't really know you like that, but we move. Now, let me be honest. Stop the cap, Ola.
Stop the cap.
Easier said than done. But once you practice it, right, you get to a space, after a while, you will have the greatest level of peace of mind. Because guess what with this world? Empty, vanity upon vanity. Ultimately, right, the only thing we have left, it's not money. No, it's not. You remember that picture, somebody burying their Hummer with them? It's relationships. The impact you leave in this world and your relationships, it's all you've got left. It sounds kumbaya. That's the reality. That's just the reality, but it's a reality that we're also disconnected from because we naturally fantasize about a world where you just feel wholesome all the time. And it's not reality, right? Growth comes from pain. Growth comes from, there's growing pain. And sometimes you need pressure for you to get to that next level, right? So challenge your biases. Just pause sometime and say, I feel this way. Why? What is the why behind how I feel? Beginning of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is not you understanding other people's emotions. It's not just that. It's that second. It's first of all you understanding your own emotions. I feel upset. Why do I feel upset? What are my biases? What was offensive to me right now? Right? I can't control that offensive person. But I can control this, right? All actions are reactions. All actions are reactions. I'm not necessarily previewed. I can see what they are reacting to. It's not necessarily my fault, but they are reacting to something. being curious, right? But I still feel how I feel, right? And I'm upset. But what is it about me that makes me feel upset? Right? That's the first step. And then you can now claim that you even are capable, that you are even capable at all of understanding other people's emotions. If you don't know how to understand your own emotions, you don't have a measuring compass to measure or to even comprehend other people's emotions. And then third level is understanding the society at large, which is where we get to social intelligence and stuff like that, right? Because you live in a world of other people. There are other people here, so you can't just like, I'm just doing me. No, that's fantasy. You're not gonna do you. It's not gonna work, right? Number 5, last but not least, actively seek common ground. Why are this list? Why is it that this exists? Because it's hard. Okay. If it's easy, I will not suggest it to you. Okay. If it's easy, I am not suggesting it to you because you probably got it. Okay. I won't suggest it to you if it's easy. That's the truth. Okay. Seek common ground. Common ground meaning there are grounds where we both can stand on. You feel that way, I feel this way. I disagree. Right? Well, you know where a lot of people in the Indomie generation end it? They end it is that stay your stay, day your day, I day my day. Right? Sometimes they do with their siblings. Sometimes they take it all the way to their grave. Right? But it's a fact that there is a common ground. It's a matter of you have to seek it. You have to be open. You have to be curious to like, there's got to be something we agree to here. What do people say? Compatibility. Compatibility is a real thing, but they misuse it, right? So like, well, we're not compatible. Let's just destroy everything. All of it. Let's just move out. Let's go our own separate ways, right? But your biggest growth in life is going to come from the common grounds. You cannot grow to your biggest potential unless you start understanding that you need other people. Shout out to Brother Ernest. I watched that show today with Auntie B. You need other people. You need other people. Especially the ones that seem like it's just difficult to get along with them. Especially those ones. Right? Because that's like the blind spot. Right? So if you can find a common ground in just simple, minuscule, micro conversation where we disagree, all the way up to a whole relationship where we are partners and we're running a conglomerate of corporations together, if you can do that, you become some of the few finest people that this world has created. It's very, very difficult. Okay? But it's easy with time. It gets easier with time. Okay, so let me come to the chat really quickly and round up. Nobody wants to call in. I think somebody wanted to call in. Who was asking for the link earlier? But I'm done. Let's see. If it hits a nerve and people started showing attitude, I think it's better to avoid it completely. Thank you, sir. Yeah, people don't want to hear diverse opinion. That's a part, and that may be speaking to me today actually. No, I'm seriously triggered. I can't come into the studio, but Natu, I'm sorry, Natu. You know you're my G. All right. It's true. Childbirth is between life and death. It's a very serious issue. Yep. Sensitive stuff. People don't accept another angle anymore. That's why I've resolved to cracking jokes. That's your own. What do you call it? Response. Your own coping measures. But Ernest was amazing, by the way. It was. It's all interwoven. Same lessons. You know. Linda Ikeja. Caption was terrible. You mean Ikeji? Sorry, you feel that way. Not to call me after the show. Call me directly after the show. I have been through 4 rounds of failed IVF. Actually, you need to call me after the show, okay? All right, maybe tomorrow. You can come down tonight. Maybe tomorrow, okay? Maybe tomorrow after work, okay? All right. So let's not put that too much out there. Too much more, okay? I don't believe I was justifying it. Natu, I will call you. No, not to. Let's talk in the chat later on. Natu. All right. So Yeah, the main topic the main topic today is very, very simple. It's really about being open-minded, you know. And being open-minded is not exactly easy. I think sometimes we paint the picture like it's something super simple or easy. No, it's not. It's not. There's nothing that's worthwhile in life that's easy. There's nothing in life. And sometimes to rub off is offensive. Sometimes it's rub off the wrong way. We try our best to apply emotional intelligence in any of these topics. And you know that's what I'm big on. I'm a student of it, right? But at some point, we also cross the line to the other side where we're not telling ourselves any truth at all. Is that what we want? No, that's not what we want, okay? That's why you see I try to be clever, I try to be slick, I try to be, right? But even at that, we have to be very, very careful, right? We have to be careful, more importantly, in terms of how we handle disagreements. Not address, like sometimes you have to face what is in front. Sometimes you have to tackle your fears. Sometimes, almost all the time, we need to tackle our fears. But I have my brother here. Brother Ben, how are you, sir?
Hey, Mr. Ola, how you doing, my brother?
Happy Sunday. How you doing?
I'm okay, bro. Why am I echoing?
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe are you hearing me through a speaker?
I'm hearing you directly.
Can you hear echo now?
Okay, I think it's better now.
How about now? Can you still hear it?
No.
Okay, all right, good. Talk to me. What's on your heart?
Yeah, Mr. Ola, you're doing a great job. It's like you and Brother NS and Auntie B decided to lecture everybody today, and I'm enjoying it.
We try. I'm lecturing myself. I just kind of bring people into the room. Come on here.
Yeah, I just want to speak. I want to speak briefly on the issue of that 54-year-old woman. I think that is a very sensitive issue, and I don't understand our Nigerians, to be honest. I don't want to generalize, but I think the internet space is becoming more toxic nowadays. People just fold up on their couch in their room in Nigeria and drop comment on whatever post they see on Facebook. So that woman that was actually triggered because somebody said she's old and being insensitive about her having kids at 54. I think that is one of the ignorant things I've ever heard. Because to be honest, this issue of childbearing is different. Are you hearing me, Mr. Ola?
Yeah, I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, you see, this issue of childbearing, it's different. Everybody with their own unique experiences and struggles.
Yeah, even the babies are different with the same person. Even with the same woman. Each baby is different.
Exactly. You know, for me, I've always kind of have this soft spot for especially women who are trying to have kids. People don't get it that having a baby, having children, it's a miracle. There are people who are right now dealing with health issues, different challenges as far as conceiving is concerned, and it's not their fault. They're not the one who created themselves and say, okay, I think I need to have this fertility issue or the other. So if somebody don't have kids or children, and then God opened their womb at 40s, 50s, why would somebody come out and start saying rubbish on the post? And the leader EKG people too, whoever is a writer, that caption it, is it elderly woman or something, whatever she called it.
Elderly woman that was under something undermining a soap creator or something like that. It's terrible.
It's crazy.
It is insensitive. It is.
And in Nigeria, they don't understand the word. They don't understand that certain ages are considered young abroad. I'll give you an example. When I first I started working in the US, a colleague of mine, that woman was at that time she was 61 years old. So when she was talking to me and then she told me, "Oh Ben, I'm actually 61, just barely a year in America." So I told her, "Oh, wow, you are trying. You can still come to work at 61. Wow, in Nigeria, 61 they are old people." Mr. Ola, that was when I received my first blessing of water. I never knew that 60, 65 is still considered young abroad.
Right. So even with our words, like, a lady wants to be a lady no matter what age. There's certain ways you talk, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So if somebody is having baby at 54, 55, it's nobody's business. I've got 3 kids myself now. From my personal experience, when somebody say, "Oh, you know what? I don't want to have children. Let me just bust small bubble of my own bubble for you." I know they blame them if they say they don't want to have children.
Right.
Based on my own personal experience, based on what I have to sacrifice, based on what it takes to raise kids. So I've come to that level that if somebody says I don't want kids, I will just say, "God bless you. Live your life the way you want it."
Yeah.
Okay.
I think also, sorry to cut you. There's a testament to, because every now and then there will be a news that will break out. A 60-year-old had a baby for the first time. Usually my mom would bring it up to me, and she's excited because of the story I gave earlier. She's excited about this kind of news, right? I don't feel the same excitement she feels, right? But I also know enough to say, "Oh wow," right? I understand, right? Again, this is so me. Here I preach about emotional and social intelligence, learning how to deliver a message. Sometimes it's not about just blah, right? Even at that, I feel that urge in me. That tells you how difficult it is when it comes to these things. So you like many other Nigerians have gone through that. So the other day, somebody that I work with, they lost weight. She lost tons of weight, and I said, "You look good. You lost weight," and I was just excited for her. You know what she said? She said, "You're Nigerian, right?" "Yeah, because you guys are quite forward." I'm like,
"Oh my God."
and I'm considered to be, I know those things already, and I still fall into that. Imagine how difficult it is for those that say, "No, we can just talk anyhow." I say, "No, you can't just talk anyhow." But yeah, continue, sir.
Yeah, you see, this thing is just everybody with their own issues and challenges. And we just have to be aware of how we interact with them, what we say around them, not to criticize or something. And like I said right now, I have a friend who the other time, he's my close friend here. He's also a nurse. And he was worried because he's just clocking 42 now. And he's like, "Ben, I have to be married. I need to start. I want to have my own kids." Because whenever he comes to my house, my children are always around him. Uncle. So I told him, "You see, life is funny. Do you know I wish to start having kids now?" Like, if I have not had my kids before now, I think this is the right time for me to start having kids. You know why I think like that? Because now I'm comfortable. I got the money. I can do whatever I want. But imagine raising 3 kids in America and the eldest is like 6 years old. You know what I'm saying now? I am new in America, raising 3 kids, going to school, working at the same time. I almost ran mad. So I told him, "Don't blame yourself.
Yeah.
Whatever time you start having kids, just enjoy it. What matters most is what you've done already. Now you're a big boy. You're making over 6 figures. Come on, man."
So imagine this, Brother Ben, right? Sometimes I push against men who think they should wait until 35. before they start thinking about marriage. I think it's a bad idea. I think it's arrogance. Because who told you that when you're ready, it will now come, right?
Yeah, but
it's the same. It's the same way I feel about, you know. But you see, that's specific to a certain type of person. That's specific to a person who think they're in control of that. We're not talking about people who are not in control of that. Which out of circumstances life happens, you know. So, out of circumstances for whatever reason. Like nobody, like that's why when people say, so did you guys go to premarital counseling? What did you do? How did you, I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. You can only prepare. In terms of reversing preparation, it doesn't exist, right? So I think there's a level of arrogance and holier than thou that comes to that level of conversation where you say, is this time? Is this age, right? We are not in control of any of that. Right? It might seem that way, but we're not in control of any of that. But in that same breath, I say stop telling yourself that men should wait to a certain age. But then they push against us when they hear that. Because then they bring in the God's time is the best. That has nothing to do with the conversation. We're talking to the person who said, well, it's not God's time. I chose 35. Right? So it's very tricky, but we should be aware that some of this conversation will sometimes rub off us the wrong way, which means there's some kind of growth going on. That's usually what it means. Sometimes it's outright offensive, but it is what it is. That's a big old but.
And I think it has to do with upbringing, background, you know, society and all that, you know. As for me,
I mean, did you see the story of Baba Adeboye praying for Israel?
Oh, I saw it.
Did you see the reaction of the people?
Of course.
You know. So can you come and tell this Baba now that he doesn't know what he's talking about? You know.
Baba is doing what Baba has to do.
Baba will probably not be able to comprehend what you're talking about. Like, huh? I'm praying for Israel. Why is that, right? And Baba can even turn around. If Baba wants to be social media Indomie generation, he can be like, well, it's my business who I decide to pray for, right?
Because Baba is more mature than that.
You know, so it's not as straightforward as we like to paint it out to be.
Yes.
And we're all learning, you know. Yeah.
In fact, don't even talk about the Israel Hamas thing, please. Just avoid it completely, my brother, because that topic is way.
You didn't hear me say Baba. There's a reason why I said Baba. I was talking about Baba Jacob. Did you hear me say that? See, I know what I was doing now. Right? I was talking about Baba Jacob. Jacob is the same person as Israel, Abi. Right? Yes, we have to be aware of these things, but we live in a very sensitive world right now. But I think precisely we need to a large extent we need to start pushing against it. This is the only push against that I had against the Will and Jada stuff. I said no, we need to slow down on the woke stuff. We need to slow down.
For us. The woke thing is not for us. Let's be honest. You know, that is why sometimes I try not to get involved in some discussion on platforms. I belong to a lot of platforms, but sometimes I'll just stay away.
You just watch and laugh.
Yes, I'll just stay in the background and just laugh. Because we Nigerians ourselves, we don't want to accept the truth. You know, I always say something about Nigerians abroad. When some issues are becoming the conversation, like a general conversation on social platforms, and those issues are relating specifically to Black American community, for instance. Sometimes I can't understand how we Nigerians who actually migrated to the United States, we kind of insert ourselves in those conversations.
Right.
And I'll be like, are you kidding me? You know?
Right. Hold on a second. Not to, I intentionally removed that comment to protect you. Okay, so I removed that comment. I don't want you to put anything too personal in the chat. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so you see, this woke thing, I think there has to be a limit to the level of wokeness that we wanted, to be honest, as Nigerians.
Yeah.
That's why for me, I always say proudly that, look, I'm a Nigerian. I decided to always speak using my Yoruba accent.
So they can know we're different. I'm not the same as you. I'm my own lane.
Exactly.
I'm in my own lane.
I explained to my daughter, my 15 years old and my 11 years old.
Right.
You know, these American children, they have the habit of trying to correct you when you are speaking. If you don't sound like an American, they feel like you are not speaking English. So one time I sat my kids down and I told them that, hey guys, listen, y'all should be giving me credit. I went to school in Nigeria and I was taught with British English. Then
brother, stop the cap. Who told you are speaking British English? Who told you this?
No. I was explaining to my kids.
You can say Queen's English, not British English.
I don't even care whatever they called it. All I know is that the British brought their education system to Nigeria, and that is what we all.
It's not Texas English, Shalorokon. It's not Texas English.
Exactly. So now I came over to America, and I now have to start doing mathematical calculations in my head before I speak.
So they can hear you.
You know how you pronounce this now? Do you call it trunk or boot? Do you you know everything?
But no, but Ben, you're not saying boot in Texas though. Come on now, come on.
That's what I'm saying now is trunk. So, but if you are speaking, for instance, I was just explaining to my daughter, like, look, if I'm speaking, if I want to say something, I have to process it first. Like, oh, is that what they call it in America? Before I can actually figure out, okay, this is the right pronoun or terms for it. So it's crazy. Then I told my daughter. Then I told my daughter that, do you know I intentionally decided not to speak in American English, not to even try to speak in American accent. And she was like, Dad, no, what do you mean? I say, yes. I've been in USA now for 11 years. It will only take me 5 years to mimic and try to speak like Oyibo. Before you know, even though my accent will still sell me out, but at least I will sound more like an American. I said, but after I observed this environment and I realized that this is a different world from what I know entirely, I decided that I want to give myself some level of distinction. Let me speak in my own dialect English. If you like to hear,
so this was intentional. You just decided to intentionally settle for you and be myself.
Exactly. And you know why? I live with Mexicans here. Mexicans don't try to speak like Americans. Let's be honest.
They don't? Are you sure?
No.
So at the accent thing, right? It's a big conversation, right? I think even when you've been talking for the past 2 minutes now, I'll be there hear American accent. If you talk in Nigeria, they know that's not their English you are speaking. I know you can't hear it, but they know that there's something off, because naturally, as you're trying to adjust so people can understand you, it's adjusting your accent.
Yes.
Now, so if you say, I don't think they are trying, just like you shouldn't try, but I think Mexicans also, they assimilate, they adjust naturally as time goes on. I think what you're saying is trying to force yourself to speak like them is a failing. It doesn't work. That's what you're saying, right?
I don't even buy it. I'm not even gonna try it. It's not my thing.
Right. Do you know that somebody is accusing you of forming accent
right now?
Yeah. Did you know that? Or you're not aware?
Because I'm intentionally speaking like this. You know me?
No, but someone has heard you. They won't tell you to your face, but they think you are forming an accent because your accent has changed because you've lived there for a few years and you've adjusted small so people can understand you. There's some, and then it becomes a part of you. And then somebody in Nigeria we hear is like, who is talking like that? You know how I know? Because somebody has shown me group chat before where they say I form accent. I say me form accent. Me I sit down somewhere and I start deciding that I'm going to form accents. You must feel like you are special, because me, I don't have time for that. But my accent, I have adjusted because somebody said a few times, and I said, okay, let me adjust what I'm saying so they can hear me. If I do that a few times, right, it changes how you talk over a period of 25 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, now, so, but good point. You make good points, though. No, I don't think anybody should be sitting down and say, I must, but I think naturally it happens if you've been here long enough. You just start speaking a certain type of way, Like me, I have Akure Owo accent, Akure Owo, New Jersey, Texas, right? All of that. New York. I have it.
You are a Yankee man already, my brother.
So I have a discombobulated accent. So if the Oyibo person say, why are you talking like that? The other day, somebody said it's off tone. I said, you go there all right.
Oh my God. See, Mr. Olai, the thing is, the reason I brought this accent thing up is because I just don't want us Africans to overdo this woke thing.
The woke thing, right.
We need to calm down. It's ruining a lot of things for us. Let's just be honest. You know, I was listening to your program maybe during the week.
Right.
And
which one?
I can't even recall which one, but you were just kind of doing your normal thing, trying to make people do better, act better, understand relationship and all that. And then you talk about divorce. When you're talking about one of these guys' divorce, how the lady was regretting, I think it was, is it Tyrese's wife or something?
Right.
How she was regretting.
Samantha Lee, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I said something in my mind that, can you imagine with 10, 20 years ago, we don't have a lot of relationship problems like this. How come now that we have all these marriage counselors everywhere, marriage advisors, pastors, seminars, therapies, prophet, everybody giving marriage advice up and down, why are we now having so much problem in marriages?
I think it's the other way around. I think those things came up because people are having problems in marriages.
But they are not providing the solution.
No, because it's generations of problems. The problems already existed when you say it didn't exist.
No. The problem exists. The problem exists. I understand that part.
Right.
What I'm saying, what I wanted to point out is that there should be a concerted effort to harmonize all these counseling advice thing. Did you? Okay, thank God you listened to Hardly Initiated, right?
Hardly Initiated, right?
You heard this guy Gaskin, Tony Gaskin, where he said there are too many people now who are
right. He was angry about that. Yeah.
I thought about it and I'm like, he is not lying.
Let me be honest with you.
Problem now than before.
Let me be honest with you. I wake up every other day considering canceling out my coaching services completely. Yeah. But then, God is telling me like, no, you're needed, right? But I wake up, I have serious urges to counsel it completely because of what he's talking about. Because it becomes because even some of the so-called, they say certain things sometimes like, I could see how the problem is perpetual, So, but again, back to what you were saying, I think the problems existed in the last generation before the coaches. The problems created the tons of coaches everywhere. It's a cycle, basically.
Exactly.
Right? The ton of coaches also creates a new type of problem. Every solution in life creates a new problem.
Mr. Ola, wait, make I laugh finish first. I enjoy this your line of reasoning.
It's real life. It's the corporate world knows this. Every solution creates a new problem. That's a fact. So it's like even when they talk about masculinity or the world as a whole, they say soft life creates weak people, right? And then weak people create people that become stronger to fix it, and the strong people create soft people because they don't want their children to suffer like them. It's a cycle. You know? So if we see it as the cycle that it is, I think we respond better. The whole world see problems. That's all they see. In general, most people see problems. That's all they see. So, but for me, I see problem as opportunities. You know?
Exactly.
So, and I see strong people like you and I, we don't want our daughter to end up like we want them to have soft life. But when those people that have daughters like that, they also have a tendency to not tell them certain level of the truth, the reality of our world. This is a very dangerous place.
Exactly, you're right.
And you know, if you're not aware about everything beyond just your experience, if all I'm aware of is no, these babies, let them go to school, get your degree, get your PhD, and husband will come at any time. If that's all you are telling your girls, right?
Yeah.
You might be speaking from a place of truth. This is just how you feel, but you're not able to think outside of your experience. That wait, what about generation before me? What about generation after me? Are they going to have the same life? As human beings, we can't see everything, but if you just ronu jinle, how do you say that in English? It's about ronu jinle. Before you utter anything. There is more to life than what we can see or feel at any point in time. Just being curious like that, we ask further questions, and then we're able to say, okay, my son, I tell my sons, I was like, I want them to know that they can be the greatest. I want them to know that there's forces against them. When they're upstairs right now, they don't feel that. You know? They don't feel that. So yes, but good point, sir. Good point, sir. Let me see here. Chidima says there are more doctors now, but more diseases.
Let's go.
Did you see that?
He's right. She's absolutely
there
right.
are more churches now, but more evils in society. I think
Let's go.
I think YouTube blocked because of the words, but I get them anyway. But more evils in society. So do we say cancel doctors or churches? You see, so that's the point to you, right? So I think the coaches are a symptom of the issues that we're hidden with our parents, the last generation. But it's not to discount your point, because new solutions create new problems.
Exactly.
Which is a lot of scam artists, a lot of people that are teaching what they don't know anything about. They're everywhere. They're everywhere, my brother.
Okay, Mr. La, can I ask you one question?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going back to Tony Gaskin. I just wanna get your opinion on this one real quick.
I know where you're going, but go ahead. They lot of drag us in this street for a long time now.
No, I just want to ask, do you think single people, I'm not saying divorcee, because for me, somebody who has been married for 5, 6, 10 years and divorced, I don't see them as single. They already have the experience. If you go to school for 10 years, you should have a PhD.
You already collect certificate if it was a real thing.
Yeah, so, but the single people who are dishing out marriage advice, do you think they are supposed to be doing that?
I mean, it's just opinions. Everybody has the right to dish opinions, all right? It's just opinions. But I think your question, okay, sorry, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think your question is like, are those advices useful? Like, can they give useful advices, like single people? Is that what your question is going on? Abi, you want to adjust?
What I want to, you get it. Do you think they have what it takes to advise married people? I'm not even talking about single like them now. Do a single person, never married, but maybe have dating experiences, should they be the one giving advice to married couples?
Yeah, so I saw a guy addressed this. His name is, let me see if I can think of the name. Mr. Lego. He's also a coach in this spaces. And he pushed extremely hard against Tony Gaskin. You know,
because he want to spoil his business.
That
guy, he's too harsh on women.
You think so? He's nicer than some people I know.
No. He's too harsh on women. I follow him. I listen at times. I thought, I know all of these guys, bros. You know,
You see
if
them.
If you are doing podcasts now, you listen to a whole lot of people.
You catch
That
them,
guy,
yes, yeah.
I think that guy was just trying to throw black women under the bus at the point.
Right. So he pushed hard against him because he's divorced, and he. What makes sense there, Diaby? He's divorced, which no shade, no shade. But he's divorced, and he sells these cards that he says question cards where you can be your own coach with the questions,
Yeah, I saw it.
But to each his own, to each his own. But he pushed hard against, and he did it respectfully against Tony Gaston. He said, well, how can you teach people you've been out of the game? Tony Gaston has been married for almost 20 years or so. That you've been out of the game. You can't advise people on dating and all that kind of stuff, I fundamentally disagree with him. And I fundamentally agree with Tony Gaskin. And here's why.
Exactly. Okay.
It's not just because it's easy to say you're married, so that's why you are advising. But hear me out, right? I do think a lot of married people are disconnected from the reality of the dating scene today.
God bless you, Mr. Ola.
Naturally so, because I'm not in your dating scene, okay? You are the best one that can describe the problems you are going through in your dating scene. But that's the limitations, okay? You can tell me about all the problems you're going through. But clearly, you don't have a solution for it. I have enough experience to hear you out. I have enough experience to be patient enough to hear you out. And then I have enough experience to comprehend what you're talking about. It doesn't matter that it's the internet, and back in the days we used to do love letters. Even though when I was doing it, it was already Facebook. But, they said no, it was love letters when I was doing it. Because to them, 16 years ago is like 60,000 years to them. Okay? 16 years ago, there was at least there was at least High Five. There was at least what's the other one before Facebook? What's the other social media before Facebook? Or what's the other social media? The one that was very popular before. There was at least Yahoo Messenger. There was MSN Messenger. But there's one after those ones that I'm forgetting there. MySpace. There was at least MySpace. Okay. So it's very easy to say, well, you've been out the game. Well, this is, again, you speaking from a very limited lens of the Indomie generation. Somehow they think 16 years means 60 years. That's how they think. Okay. So what I think is that a single person who is in the dating scene right now, who is complaining about the dating scene, you can do a great job describing the problems to me. You can, because you have the experience. You're absolutely correct about that. But you're having a hard time coming up with a solution, right?
Yes.
I will come up with a terrible solution if I'm not able to listen to where you're coming from too. Right? If I'm not able to be patient to hear where you're coming from, to at least be able to put 1 and 2 together and say, yes, the dating cesspool right now. So I know I've heard enough for the past 5 years to know that, yes, is this a cesspool? And I've heard the same repeated talking points for a while. I know that they don't like spending $200 on the plate at dinner. I've heard it. It's becoming repetitive. So we have an idea of what the problems are, okay? But we also have experience and the comprehension, the ability to comprehend enough to give you a potential solution to consider. We're even wise enough to tell you consider it. We're not even giving you that is the ultimate. There's no end or be your solution, right?
God bless you.
The pushback is that you've been out of the game. You don't know nothing. You can't tell me nothing. And then they expect the problem to solve. They don't have solution to the problem. They enjoy describing the problem more so than coming up with solutions, right?
I make you laugh small.
Yeah.
I make you laugh small. Did you know I've been sleeping on the couch for the past 4 days now?
You've been sleeping on the what? On the couch. Is everything well? Is it okay? Why are you sleeping on the couch?
No, I just wanted to buttress the marriage discussion because people don't get how this thing works. You know, what happened was that I'm working full time, I'm going to school full time at the same time.
Right.
And I have my client's job to work on and everything. You know this Oyibo school now. I'm currently taking 5 classes as full-time student.
Wow.
So sometimes my brain go just the
I don't envy you, bro. I don't envy you. I'm a teacher. I'm teaching people now. I've got students. So even that, how much more you have to...
Oh my God. So out of the pain and stress, you know, any small thing, any little thing just trigger me these days. Any small thing, I will just go off. Even
Chidima said, "Oh, no, it's far. The couch too far. It's over 100." Oh Jesus!
Sister Chidi, leave me, because people think say marriage. People think say marriage is a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, Tony Gaskin is more right than all of them because Yoruba people sọ pé ẹ jẹ́ kí n pòwe díẹ̀ ẹ má bínú sí mi. Tí ọmọdé bá ní aṣọ jàgbàlagbà lọ kò lè ní àkísà ju àgbàlagbà lọ. If a child has more Gucci, fancy clothing, whatever your newest designer clothes is out there, more than the elder,
Fendi,
the child cannot have more rags than the elder.
Never.
You just don't know what you don't know. And I say that humbly because I know some of my counterparts, they're not patient enough to listen to the young people and they're offering advice and it just gets worse and worse too. Right? So it's not helpful that some elders don't know how to listen before they offer advices. So I know what they're coming from with that. But, you know, it's a balance that's needed. But no, you cannot have more experience than people that have experience. It just doesn't make any sense. And experience is the best teacher still. Undefeated. Exactly. Undefeated. And you might say, I don't have experience on how to do swipe. Says who?
Honestly, my take has always been that as a young single person who want to get married and you are trying to listen to advice and all that, it's okay to listen to married couples and divorcee.
Right.
Because I think even sometimes divorcee are in a better position to use their experience as a teachable moment.
So for my program here eventually, right? I want to coach coaches, right? And one of the biggest point of contention for me is I don't want to be discriminatory about it, right? I don't want to say things like, well, if you're not, because I think one of the problems is people that don't have any experience teaching people, right? But I also know enough that there's a lot of professors that are teaching chemical engineering that have not necessarily been inside of Dangote's plant, right? So
exactly,
you can teach theory and you can take people into the lab and do titration, genetic titration. But it's different when there's a bunch of people's life at risk, right? When there's combustion going on and there's X-ray inside of a tank that's about 100,000 foot tall. Because every new level creates a new problem, right? There's every time you ascend to a new height, you have a new set of problems. That's life, you know? So because of that reason, I don't think a single 24-year-old coach will have enough comprehension. It's not their fault. They can't comprehend what they're talking about. They can teach theory, right? They can teach theory, right? But when it comes to the inevitable conflicts that happen in any relationship, not just unique to marriage, but especially marriage, right? When it comes to that, are they able to apply empathy in teaching, right? Now, I think to an extent, it's okay if anybody wants to learn and be able to coach and stuff like that. But if I were to set up a system, I will set up a system that will still link them, that will, after you teach them and you show them, but you have like an event where there's a conglomerate of not single divorce, complicated, people that have all this kind of experience, and all those perspectives are useful. They are all useful. But to outrightly throw somebody into the middle of the market, and they have no experience in life, and they can teach something that's very sensitive, like this whole thing called marriage that people are doing their whole life, right? I think we need to come up with a solution where we're not discriminatory to anybody who has the love to teach it, because some people are just good, natural, right? But also to say, so there should be some kind of assessment to be able to assess people and say you're qualified, right? Without necessarily discriminating them based off of their particular status. You see what I'm saying?
I get it.
So because I can imagine what it feels like for somebody to tell you that just because you have circumstantial situations in life, you're not qualified. It's like another offensive thing to say. You know what I mean? Like you don't mean, you know. So I think that's what the single people are expressing. I think they're finding it offensive that somebody think they're not qualified. And I think they are creating more problems by actually saying they're qualified. because the fact that you respond that way says you're not qualified. The problem is everywhere, but I bet the problem is everywhere.
I know, my brother.
Yeah.
That conversation was really tough. I listened to a whole lot of them coming after Gasky.
Yeah.
Why would he say that though? Why would he say that? You want to say I don't have this? I'm like,
and then they go with, well, half of you are not happy in your marriage anyway. I was like, huh. So when you say you slept on the couch, you said, but I bet you're not helping these people. Because when the first thing they go to is like, half of you are not happy in your marriage. So what makes you think you can teach us? It's like,
don't mind them. They don't get it.
Ìgbéraga ló ń ṣíwájú ìparun. That's the truth.
Now because they never enter University of Marriage, let them know how they go.
Yeah. So no, you know, we're all learning, but we're all learning from experience. Experience is not your mate at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You know, so at the very minimum, a divorcee can teach you more than the person that has never stepped foot in it. A person who has never stepped in foot in it and said that will never be me. They don't know what you're talking about. You know, people who think just because they didn't sign a paper, they escape life. Just because they didn't sign with the state, they escape life. Or just because they run to Brazil, they escape life. You say, like, oh,
yes, so. Yes, so.
Thank you, my brother. Happy Sunday to you. Love to your family.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Again.
Talk soon, bro. All right. So, yeah, that was good conversation. It's always a pleasure to have people on here to rub minds with. But I want to say thank you for everybody that came through tonight. Thank you. Shout out to all 16 of you that are still listening to me. Shout out to all the 7 people that started with me today. I appreciate you. Shout out to all the sponsors. Shout out to all the sponsor of today's shows. A special shout out to Yvette, we didn't really say anything, and but Ben for the $5 and the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. This session actually makes a lot of sense to me. I am going to expect some pushback, okay, because of the sensitive topic that we have today. But I'm here for it. Let's have conversation. If we don't have pushback something, I think we might be wasting our own time. But I'm creating content, so I want you to actually get value out of this. And it doesn't mean we have to be offensive. It just means we have to be aware of all the nuances and all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate everybody that came here today, and shout out to the sponsors. I appreciate the sponsors in particular. Thank you. Right, so hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I appreciate you. Let me see. I need your number here, brother Ben. Let me see here. You write this down really quickly. 732-305. Hit me up on WhatsApp, bro. Hit me up on WhatsApp. All right. I'll leave that on the screen while we're rounding up the show. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.